Word up. What's going on? Conscious here in an undisclosed location, hanging out with an MC, both rugged MC and just rugged man in general, man of nature.
Yes.
Also voted Minneapolis Best MC recently.
Oh, that was a little while ago, but yeah.
But it still sticks with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we've been traveling around E and I. You know what I'm saying? That's E-turn.
Hey, what up?
And so yeah, we've been seeing his name everywhere.
Yes.
And people have been talking about him. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Greg Grease. What's going on, fam? How you doing?
What's it is.
So now, okay, so we were just talking that you're born and raised in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I was born here, and then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia when I was 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
And I lived there until I was about 9 years old. And I moved back here. Then I lived in Charlotte for a couple years. I lived in a couple other places, but yeah, primarily this is the homestead.
So you've seen, growing up a lot of different areas. How does that, maybe like influence your rhymes? I mean, has it or?
Man, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think that, my father, he's a huge hip-hop head.
Mm.
And so, living in these different places, he would always adapt to the area and listen to what everybody else was listening to and checking stuff out. So, like, early here, everybody was on the West Coast, super heavy, everything, And that was, like, in the early 90s, late 80s and stuff. And then, down south, when I was living down there, that was really the emergence of, like, during the time of Dungeon Family,
nice.
So Def, and so there was like crazy music going on down there, And I was just a teen little kid, so it was mostly listening. But I remember the radio was on fire back then, always, yeah.
Because back then it was more like a balance back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to now. Now, so what age you started rhyming?
Maybe like 23.
Oh, word? Okay,
Something like that. Yeah.
And then you're here in Minneapolis.
Yeah. I'm originally a producer and a drummer. I started drumming in high school.
Oh, okay.
Late middle school. Started producing in high school. So my main thing was producing, and I was in a group called The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
And I was just producing for them. And
what were you using?
Back in those days, there's been so many phases of what I use. Like, originally, I was using iMovie.
What? Wait. What?
Yeah,
How?
Yeah.
Wait.
So I would...
Because it's movie in the name. Like, how do you put, like, beats?
So I would bring in the samples where the audio tracks would be.
Yeah.
And I would, like, chop it and, like, copy and paste them.
Nice.
Wow.
So you had your audio, and then you had another track that you could record, like the microphone on the computer, and I played the drum. So I would just, play the drums.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
And there were like some super mediocre beats, but that was like my first beats. And then Fruity Loops from there, MPC from there, Logic. Pretty much on Logic now, yeah.
Okay, so now, as far as wanting to rhyme, what sparked that?
Man, really, it was my brother Free One, rest in peace. He would always say, like, man, we're about to be rhyming. You're about to be rhyming. You need to quit lying to yourself. You need to quit lying to yourself. I'd be like, nah, I'm good. And really, we would always freestyle, you know what I mean? Just messing around like every kid does ever, you know what I mean? Yeah. And anybody that says they don't freestyle is a lying fool. So really, it started from that, you know what I mean? Like, just party, freestyling, and just hanging out, and my guy just encouraging me. And I like being on stage. I like to perform. So even when we performed, I was hype man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I was just a wild guy when I was young. And so I would be jumping around and stuff. And so they were like, man, you might as well just rhyme, quit lying. So I started rhyming.
So what was your first like introduction into the scene? Like, how did you get into the Minneapolis scene?
Same person, man. My guy Free One, Abdul. Pretty much most people that I know through music, through art, that type of stuff, I met through him.
Oh, that's dope. So he was like a staple in the scene? Or
Absolutely.
So he was an MC or?
Yeah, he's an MC, yo.
Oh, okay.
And he's my brother. We came up doing like graffiti together and that type of stuff.
Okay, what'd you write?
Can't even talk about all that.
But it's still up on the wall, so you can't really.
But So yeah, you know, we just came up, you know, running around doing little rat stuff, and yeah, and then doing music. And he really is the type of dude that he was a child prodigy. Like he graduated high school when he was like 15, something like that. He was going to University of Minnesota when he was like 16, 17.
Wow.
So he was a real smart dude, and probably too smart. And you know, so we would run around do a lot of crazy stuff, but also, you know, talk about stuff. And he hit me to a lot of different things. And he was a real well-versed dude, and a lot of people knew him. And you can ask a lot of people about him; they'll know him for sure if they've been around for a little while.
Okay.
And so yeah, you know, he introduced me to most people because he's more outgoing. I'm more of like a in the cave type of dude.
Yeah.
He would always make me, just like with rhyming.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yo, just come on, man, just come on." So really, yeah, you know, he's the conduit for like most of my music stuff.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. Did you have anything? Just jump in. Did you have anything?
Oh,
Okay, cool. So now, what happened to that group that you're in?
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
We still rock together. My DJ, you know, we live together.
Okay.
who's your DJ?
DJ Just 9.
Okay.
Yep. And IBE still doing his thing, and Acrat still doing his thing. You know, everybody's still doing their thing. And really, it's a crew now rather than like a
That
group.
sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Like ACKRITE or something?
No, that's a producer
Oh, okay.
who also is from here,
Mm.
which is funny because we didn't know that. I met him online. I was like, "Are you from Minneapolis?" He's like, "Yeah." Crazy. But but Acrat, AKRITE.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, how, so the new album that just came out, you know what I'm saying? Born to Lurk, Forced to Work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How long, because this is your third album? Like, well, as a solo?
I'd say I mean, it depends on what you call an album, honestly.
All right, we'll run through the discography.
Probably. The discography, it started with Tribute to the Lakes, which was just a project, wasn't an album. The Giving Tree, which is a project, not an album. Then Cornbread Pearl and G, which is an album. So this is my second album.
Okay.
And then after Cornbread Pearl and G, Black King Cole, which is an EP.
Nice. All right, let's go.
And then we put out, you know, little tracks. We used to do these things called snack packs, where we throw out like a few tracks a month,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
So-
songs.
So talk about coming up in the scene. Like, what are some things? Snack packs. Like, what else did you do to kind of?
Man, for us, it was all about performing. Back in the day, there was a spot called the Dinky Timer, and it was like anybody could perform there.
Yeah.
You just gotta go in, hold your own. And so, like for us, that was like the first spot we sold out.
Nice.
That was like the spin night. I was going in there like, you know, it was a bar. I was going in there when I was like 17, I think. I was definitely not supposed to be in there.
But wait, but you didn't start rapping until 20, so you were going in there as a producer for you.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and even before that, I mean, I was just going in there, you know, like just hanging out,
Chilling.
you know, right? Because I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17 because they lived in North Carolina. As soon as I graduated high school, I was like, peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Came back here. And that summer, it was, you know, a fun summer.
So what made you come back here?
This was where my friends were, you know.
No.
Okay.
We moved to North Carolina when I was going into the 11th grade, so it was kind of like, you know, whatever to me.
Yeah. All right.
And now I look back on it, and it's cool. It was a good time in my life, but
Yeah.
while I was in it, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, looking back on it, you know what I'm saying? They say, like, what is it? Retrospect is 2020 or something like that. Hindsight is
Yeah.
2020.
Absolutely.
That's dope. All right. So now, so since you've been to different places, what is it, like, the Minneapolis hip-hop scene?
Mhm.
Because that's what I'm trying to find, you know what I'm saying, by talking to people from here. What is it about the Minneapolis hip-hop scene that it just seems like it's kind of bubbling?
You know, it's a good question. I mean, I think it's a few things. It's not just the hip hop scene. It's like the Minneapolis arts and music scene. There's a lot of artists here. There's a lot of musicians here. There's a lot of people that support art here. So, like, really, you could be making any kind of music, and you know, it's not like you're able to make it or anything like that. But you can make whatever kind of music you want to, and be able to get shows and find a community of people that, you know, are like minded and that you could fit into. You know. But then I also think it's the winter time, you know, like everybody's in their house all winter.
I was about to ask, like, cause
Yeah, like how does that
Because I know if it was me, I just hibernate like a bear.
That's what I do. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's people that go out, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, and respect to them.
Yeah,
But like, I'm kind of an insular dude.
So does that affect the music a lot? How you're doing?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
most stuff happen during summer and spring and
Yep. Spring happens and people come out swinging. Like,
yeah.
throwing long balls. Like,
So does it make up for it then?
yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, right now is that time.
Everyone's out right now. Yeah.
It's crazy because wintertime is not like that. And the falls are really nice here. That's my favorite season is the fall because it's like I like a more mellow vibe.
Yeah.
And it's super mellow in fall, and it brings out different kind of people. So,
what kind of people? You say
like the people
Artists.
that, yeah, you know,
People like us.
For sure, like people that I feel like are more into those types of moods. You know, I'm really affected by the weather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like when I got here, it was like Monday I think or Tuesday, and it was raining. I was like, oh.
That's how I felt that
I wanna get
Sunset.
up.
It was raining all day at Sunset. It was just mad gloomy. I was just like, so gloomy.
See, but for me, like I really like the gloom in a way. It like
Yeah.
gives me this creative juice, and then being at Sunset, I was like,
Yeah, you were pumped.
yeah. I went home. I was like, ah.
It probably has to do with me being exhausted too, because
Yeah.
I've been nonstop since I've been here. But yeah.
Yeah, and then being there is not helping that. Nowhere to sit.
So tell me about Sunset then, because from what I understand, this is like the re-emergence of Sunset. This is like Sunset 2. Were you there for like Sunset 1?
No, I'm too young. I'm a youngin'. I might look a little old with this beard, you know. No, I'm just kidding. Nah. I didn't go to the early Sunsets. I've heard about them. Heard some interesting stories about them.
Yeah, I heard it was like a rave or something. It'd go into like 6 in the morning or something.
Yeah, well, it was like a combination, I believe. Like hip-hop show / rave.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it.
Yeah, no, well, Kevin told us that.
Yesterday, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like he's like, it's wild.
Yeah.
Like the last act went going to like 6 in the morning or something.
Right, yeah, that's what I heard too, yeah. Yeah, man, I mean, the new ones are dope. You know, we played at the first one with my group.
Yeah.
That was before I started rhyming.
Oh.
So that kind of gives you a timeline on my rhyming.
So how was it then at the first one?
It was dope. It was at the Metrodome parking lot downtown. I mean, it was like primarily Midwestern at that point. Now it's like
everywhere.
Yeah. Ice Cube. There was Ludacris. So it was,
and I mean, I'm trying to think of who played the first year.
What was that?
It's pretty much
2008.
been like that every year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big lineup,
They
but
go
like the
big
people that
names,
came,
still blended
the
people.
people that came the first year were primarily Midwestern.
the crowd or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas now I feel like the crowd is like from.
But it's always been
like
like a national.
Yeah, yep. They had the two stages, like the main stage and the Fifth Element stage. Fifth Element stage had more locals that acts on it though. Now the Fifth Element stage is like
Had Babu on it this year.
flaming.
I think that was my.
Ad-lib.
Yeah.
Oh, they were on that stage. I missed Freddie Gibbs.
What was Dilate Peoples? They were like main stage or?
Main stage.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
See, I mean,
Babu killed it.
now okay, so having a festival like that, how does that, as a local MC, that's something you were like, all right, I know Soundset's coming up. It's on this date. I need to make sure starting this date that I have enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of plan, like, I need to.
Maybe if I was smarter. But I honestly, I don't really like think anything about Soundset as a planning factor, but it's always cool when it comes up. I always forget about it. and then I see like on Twitter, the Soundset Twitter page, like, we're about to announce announcements. I'm like, oh, tight.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I mean, I wish I did. I'm not that great of a planner.
We got John, you know what I'm saying? So, John. So, what's the creative process like then for you? Like, how long does it take for you to put like a project out? Do you, I want to put something out like, cause
I mean, it kind of depends. There's not really any one way. It's actually changed every time, though. So I can't really say the one way that I do it. But the last time I did We're Going to Work Force to Work, originally I was going to do a mixtape.
Okay.
And I started making a song. I wanted to do a mixtape with all original music on it.
Okay.
and I started making some songs. And I started getting better songs from producers, and I started getting better as a producer and as a writer, and just started making better songs. And I was like, man, like, these songs are cool, but they're cool. They're just cool, you know. And then these ones made sense as a project, so I just kind of started, like, you know, picking out songs that made a narrative, and really it happened during the sequencing process. Because for me, the sequence is really important.
Yeah.
And so while I was figuring out the sequence, I started realizing I had to fit in songs here and here and here and there, and that's really how I came up with like the full project.
Okay, that's dope. And then previous project, how did that come about? Then you said it was like different.
Black King Cole, I was just zoning. I had a bunch of beats just recorded. Before that, it was like a long process of like collaborating with the producer, going back and forth. And that was a really long process, and I think that's kind of why I changed doing that.
Okay. You were like, I don't want to do this.
Right. It taking you out of your zone, out of your creative zone. Yeah.
Being on somebody else's timeline, like.
But if you find the right person, like that just kind of like
that's
when it's like
for sure
you're banging stuff out. So
for sure, yeah. I mean, I really feel like I'm blessed to have the production or producing talent, because a lot of times whenever I get a mental dry spot, what do they call it? Writer's block. I just make beats.
Yeah.
It's kind of like work through it and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just go make beats, and then if I make a cool beat, it'll make me want to write. So, but it's kind of hard because like I was supposed to be producing for other people, and then they all end up being mine.
So how does that work? Like, when you make a beat, do you know, all right, I'm gonna make that, or make that for someone, or like?
Right now, I'm not using any of my beats.
Okay.
So I'm working on a couple projects for a couple different people. So all my production is going to them.
Okay. So
I'm just like trying to produce as many beats as possible.
Yeah. Do you have like a stash, or is it just as you do them, you're just?
It's a more as I do them thing. I'm not really a stash kind of guy. Like I wish I was. I know some producers that got so many beats.
Yeah. I know a guy named I Make Mad Beats. so
I make mad beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I do a lot of other things too. I like to like. I do visual art, and I sew bags. I make bags.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about River Life Dry Goods, right?
Yeah.
So what's that about? How did you get into that? Because like you have backpacks, you have like wallets.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
Really, it started from, just wanting to be industrious and wanting to do something a little bit more.
Okay, were that with your hands, kind of thing?
Right, and it started with these medallions. I wanted a medallion. You remember those like old African medallions?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make one of those.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted to buy one, and this is before the internet was like crazy. Yeah. And it was probably, but I wasn't on it like that. Yeah. And so I couldn't really find the medallion, so I was like, I'll just make it, fuck it. So I started making medallions, and they're leather, and they're like sewn together or whatever. So that really kind of started it, and I'm mad obsessive with stuff. So once I started doing that, it turned into something else, and then something else, and now it's like bag making and menswear.
How do you you just try and like trial error type thing, or like?
Originally, yeah, I was just taking bags apart, see how it was put together, and then making my own version, like just biting a lot of style, like techniques and stuff. But then I went to Dunwoody Institute, which is a school up here for industrial sewing.
I can see that. Okay. There's an actual school for industrial sewing. Damn, that's Minneapolis. That's awesome.
Well, that school is like a crazy prestigious school for like mechanics, engineers, all kind of stuff. Yeah. And then that's just one of the programs. So yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
How long have I been sewing all together?
Yeah.
As long as I've been rapping.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It really started like we had a merch booth at Sunset.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, we gotta think of cool stuff. Oh, look, I've been making these medallions. I can make these bracelets. We can make these little bags, these little weed baggies. Man, and then turned into a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, it was really just starting like, let's sell some merch that's different. Let's brand ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
I see like the Greg Grease like they call them, like medallion joints, right?
Which ones? The patches or the wood, the laser cut
It's like
joints?
wood joint, yeah.
The laser cut.
That's great. Yeah, dope. All right.
Yeah.
So is it like you custom pieces for people, or you just put something together and you're like, all right, this is for sale? Like, how many of each one is what I'm asking? Like,
it kind of depends. Sometimes it depends on where I get my leather, what it is. You know, it's all open.
so yeah, like learn all that like sourcing and getting all that stuff and.
Yeah. And that's really the most technical part, actually.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because most people don't think about that.
Oh,
I didn't think about any of that. And then, like, while getting into it, I'm like, where am I going to get this leather from? Because you just go to the store and buy leather jackets.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But getting good leather isn't easy to come by. So I just started going to thrift stores and buying leather jackets. Cutting them up.
Okay.
But then I started finding places to get leather. And so.
And so you have like a connect now.
Sort of.
Alright, that's dope. Alright, so okay, so Born to Lurk, Forced to Work, out now. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
What else is coming up from Greg Grease?
Oh man.
But
What else is coming up from
my
Greg
bad. The
Grease?
name. Me saying the name
Like
now.
Greg
I was like,
Grease?
yeah.
The name Greg Grease came from my man Abdul once again.
Oh, okay.
We used to go by Greasy Greg and Dooley Devious.
Nice.
So,
Dooley Devious.
yeah.
Yes.
So as I got less greasy,
Yeah.
I became more greasy. You know, I ride my bike and I'm a dirty type dude. I used to be more. I'm a little bit more clean now. I have a girlfriend, but you know what I mean? I'm shameless of it though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know,
so
you
that's
gotta be
what
comfortable.
Grease,
Yeah.
Greg Grease.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
That's dope. So now what's up for Greg Grease? What's going on?
Man, I was just looking over at John, like, what's up? Shows, you know, just performing some shows. I got some EPs that are going to be coming out the next few months.
Like,
They're going to be
multiple
free
EPs?
projects, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And you guys are the first people I'm talking about that with.
Nice.
So that means it
The
has
name?
to happen now.
Yeah. Because this video will be going up soon too. Like, I don't mess around. Like, this is going to be going up like in a day.
Cool.
So.
Well, yeah, you know. Yeah, some videos.
Nice.
Actually, yeah, we got some real cool videos.
Right.
Yeah.
See, was it in
Traveling.
like the fort? You know what I'm saying? That place you went to, you were talking about earlier? That fort?
Oh, no. We got some other. Actually, it is by the river though, but not there. Yeah.
Nice.
So what is it about the river? Because river comes up a lot in your
Yeah.
stuff.
Man, like really, I get a lot of inspiration from the river. It's a flowing motion, and I also think about the river like it connects us to the people in the South.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of slaves that use the river to escape. You know, the river to me just means a lot. It's mad symbolic of life, and you can take the river through the whole country, through the world. You know.
Yeah, it connects everyone in the world.
Exactly. You know, we're all connected through that.
Through
So,
water.
yeah. You know.
Nature. I think nature is just a natural inspiration, though. Period. Like just
Seriously.
being in nature, it gives you natural inspiration.
Seriously,
Yeah.
and that's, you know, talking about Minneapolis, or the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
You
I
can
noticed,
see
yeah,
all
driving
the
around,
water.
like, there might be like roads, but then there's like trees, like on the highway, like, you know, like kind of reaching over. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, you know, we got a lot of respect for our wildlife out here and the nature, and it's cool because you'll be in like the metropolitan area, and then you can go to the river and go down into the woods, and then you won't see any houses. You just see water just at the river. And like crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
You don't even feel like you're in the city. Then you just hop on your bike and go home.
Oh, that's dope.
I need to get some spots from you before we leave, because
For sure.
well, I'm staying by Lake Harriet, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I want to experience it. There's still like houses around, you know what I mean? Like I just want to
You
go
gotta go to White
secluded.
Sands then.
White Sands, okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking. Greg Grease tourist guide.
Yo.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
funny you said that because
Like
I was at the
biking.
river. I was thinking about that actually. I was like, man, I could show people some crazy
I'm
spots.
saying, like, bike trail type thing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
you know.
And then you can play your music while you're biking.
You
You
know?
know what I'm saying? So
Or
that's
we can get the segways.
Yes,
Hit the segways.
yes. Yes.
Well, you know, if that happens, I'm gonna kind of want to cut because it's on camera. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? Taking the
Absolutely.
time out.
No
You know what I
doubt.
mean? And yeah, it's like keep hitting me with joints and, you know, it's gonna get played. And, you know what I'm saying? So,
I appreciate it.
appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing your thing and continued success.
Thanks,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? Thank you, fam. All right, get out. Great Reese. Thank you. All right, cool. So that's gonna do it for us. And shout out to John. Peace. And yeah,
Cool.
get up. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely.